Hello there. Hello. Welcome back to the stream. And today we're on part 2 of helping out a small 4-man indie team with their UI UX challenges in Unreal Engine in the creation of a couple of different UI. So we have this research bench, which is the first stream that we did yesterday. We did the top left, we added splines, and we talked a lot about layout to sort out the sizing for different screen resolutions, so that's pretty nice. And so let's take a look at where we are at with that. WB_research. Oh no, sorry. W_research, different project. This project is just widget_. Cool. Widget_research tree. Okay, so this is where we're at. We have a little timeline here that we can drag. So let's take a look at this. We have these widgets are maybe like 10% larger than they need to be for this screen, which means that when we put another element here and we want to show them at the bottom, this is actually too large. So let's just immediately go and fix that. It's about 10% too large. Let's go and take a look at, we've got a series of splines in here which are pretty cool, little UMG splines from a plugin that I created for my primer series. Okay, so we got an unlocked item here. Let's go and take a look at the unlocked item. Let's just scale this down. Just a smidgy. Just a little smidgy. So here we've got this 150. Let's multiply this by 0.8. Multiply this by 0.8. It's a little bit smaller now, and we can see that the graphics are outside the bounds. So let's go and fix that up. So we're just going to rock through this as quick as we can. We've got this text background, which is sized here. Okay, so this will be 80 multiplied by 0.8 here. What I actually want to do is get this turned into a border, because I think that is going to be the better way to do this. So let's put a border in here. Grab that border. This will be the border for the crowns. We'll get another border in here for the days. Then we'll just go grab that texture. Put that into the border for crowns. Bonk. Then we've got another border on top there. Let's just move this down. Or up. Either way. Cool. So that's that one. Border for days. Borders for days is literally my job. Literally my job. Borders for days. Okay, so we're in there. We've got that. We've got both of these. The graphic for these is a little off. Maybe we should go fix that so that this border is actually represented in a good way. So let's grab both of these asset actions. Asset actions. Let's export these into our exports folder. Save. Save. Let's go pop open. Whoops. We don't want that to be opened. 1 second. One second while I fix that. Okay, and we're back. Hello there. Let me turn my light on. Awesome. Okay. So I've got Photoshop here. Let's go and open up the 2 exports that we just made. And the quick way to fix this, image, trim. Okay. Save. And we've got this one. Image, trim. Yep. Save. And then re-import those. Right click, re-import this one. Right click, re-import this one. Save those. Alrighty. So now these are looking a lot more similar to the other one, and so we can grab this horizontal box and drop that into crowns, and we can grab this text block and drop that into days. And then we've got item crowns and item days. We want to check in on any references to this. So here we have a visibility setting, and then we're also separately setting the text and some other things. So let's take a look what we're doing here is we're saying that if this is an unlocked item, then the crown text, the horizontal box for crowns, the days text block, and the item text for days are all hidden. So all we need to do now is actually use the border to control that, because these borders are the root, and they have a size, so they will never expand beyond that size, so we don't need to use a size box for that. So we'll just use these two borders, border days and border crowns. Just do this, control click and drag, delete the rest. Awesome. So that's that done. So now if I right click on the text block background, the old background here, we've got no results for this, which means we're safe to clean that up. And then we just want to move these down to where they need to be. So we got, what's this horizontal box here? What's in here? Text, yeah, cool. So that's horizontal box star level. Cool. And then we got this one. Okay. So for this, we're just going to roll this down to around the middle. Don't want to do that. Don't want to change that. We do want to change this. Okay, so it's about there. Same for this one. So just move this over, down, about here. That's actually neat. These two images actually need to just be a little bit smaller. Got these offsets instead of size. No, size here, cool. So 80 2 by 25. Let's do that. This was the right size. Now it is not. Let's get rid of the padding on these, set this to be centered. We can't do because this has too much line height. That's not working. Okay. This one's fine. Although we might want to pad it from the left and right slightly. 5, 10, 2, 5, 10. Okay. And same for this one. Go 10, 2, 10. 8. This image is not the right size. It is being controlled by something. So let's wrap this with scale box, which will just make it a nice correct size. Border crowns, we'll move that down a little bit more. What I really need to do is bring in this image that we had in the past. Just going to pop out this content browser and pop it over here so I can actually do this. Right. So let's bring this overlay in. Right. Yeah, we were sizing it down, right? Let's actually see if, before we go any further, let's go find some of this, right? Obviously not in the right place, but it is the right size. Yeah. Okay. So what we've got to do is size these down a bit. What we should do is go and fix these images as well. Like all of these frames ideally aren't like this, but I think we're going to have to leave it. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Right. Need to just render opacity this down a little bit so I can get just a ghost of where these need to be. Zoom out on this now. Interesting, right. We need to hide other things for a second. No, it's not letting me hide that. Guess it's controlled through code. Let's do that for a second. Okay, border days. Really, if we anchor this to the bottom right, it might be easier. For the text size, it's a little bit smaller. Okay. The reason for doing that one first is that now I can be like, okay, this is minus 75, minus 8, 75, 22. Minus 75, minus 8, 75, 22. Or look, minus 75, 8. I changed everything. Minus 75, 8. It's minus 8. $75, 22, and then we can just change the Y position to lift this up, and then make it visible again. Toggle this, we can see that that text also needs to be changed here. It was 14-point font. Be nice if I could tell this to not be scaled. Might need to just fill auto. What's going on with this image? There we go. Right. And then for the text block, can I just pad this? There. actually don't want to pad this from the left. I want it to be aligned to the right. And then this text can change. Yeah. Okay. So for this image, let's just bring this up. It's not about being perfect anymore, it's about being fast. We don't have forever, right? So we do have a bold version of this font now, which is perfect. It's what we needed yesterday. So we're going to bring this down. 18-point font. Going to get the star image. Produce this. Now we have that style sorted, I believe. I don't think that this text for the top and bottom is meant to be skewed. So we're going to unskew it. And we're going to make these bold, if I remember correct. Let me just check. If I remember correctly. No, they are not. They are just bold. They are just normal. Okay, so back in the research tree. They are touching each other. Yeah, because I didn't change. It is bold. It's bold, but it's smaller. That's the key. 16 bold. It's like too bold. Yeah, the names are touching each other. Okay. So it's a little bit offset right now, but that's okay. We'll fix that. It is also brown. Oh. All of my splines have just decided to change shape. Why is that? Ah, because all of this, yeah, the maximum size has changed because we updated the width of the items. Which means that the padding of this is also slightly off, actually. Kind of see that there. So I think we need to move... we need to move everything. Wow, it's so annoying that I can't bolt these to my spline widget. I think I might need to iterate on the spline widget so that you can actually attach things under it. Maybe if this was an overlay, then you could attach items underneath and then define which spline point they follow, and that would be super cool. I'm going to write that down. Spline widget as overlay, define spline point to follow per child. That'd be a really neat little feature. Yeah, so sadly right now it has changed. It has changed size. We've got the size panel. Make sure that our initial entry is positioned in the center bottom 0.5 alignment. Gotta like redo this whole thing. Let's get an image in here. Full size, just make this something that we can work with. Oh, what a shame. I've got to redo this whole spline. Where's my details gone? Yeah, they do have these right leading elements here. This is center aligned with the center, is it? It's not. Okay. I'll do, Jimmy. I'm gonna make all of these a little bit thicker as well. Actually, no, I'm not. I lied. I'm not going to do that. All we have to do is actually align these like that. It's a weird visual bug. Okay. I've got to go back in and work on it a little bit more. Yeah, I've got to go work on it more. Okay, so it's too high. It's about here. So all of these anchors, well, the anchors are fine. We can just offset them from the top. Kind of like it overlaying. Kind of feels nice, but we'll stick to the design. 14 units. Okay, let's go. Now we just got to fix all of these again. This is a bit of a pain, because we have to change the anchors. I think we might need to change the anchors for all of these, which they have multiple spline points, so I can't change them all at the same time. Add a smoothness parameter to the spline as well. Okay. Okay, now we can do the inverted version because now we've sorted out the splines again. We've got this cool wibbly effect. Okay, so very painterly sort of style. Yeah, we have a version of this that is basically the opposite direction. For which what I wanted to do was just have a separate widget that is going to represent the opposite version. In fact, I'll show you the picture. We've got the upward version, it can be locked, and we've got the downward version, and it can be locked. Pragmatically, not super easy, or not fast, I would say. Should I do it with programming? Or should I just do what I've been doing which is just go and figure it out in the widget. I think if I was to program it, how long would it take? If I was to do it by hand, it would take me about 20 minutes. And I'll just do it on stream right now. If I was to do it programmatically, I would only need to position the elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. Well, I'd only have to do it twice. And then I would loop through and hopefully just configure these tangents automatically. Let's try to do a version that is coded. So let's duplicate the block and we'll just call it invert. And then instead of having these splines, I am going to need a reference to these splines, but we've got a reference in the other widget. So I'm going to delete all the splines. This is going to be our canvas panel items. And then we'll need, we won't even need a canvas panel for the splines. The splines don't need a canvas panel. So I'm going to create an overlay that goes on this overlay. We'll call it overlay splines. We'll tick the box on here. Let's flip. Let's flip these over. So these now go at the bottom. Some text off the bottom. There we go. And then this research item is going to be anchored to the top. And its position by, oh, whoops. So now let's compare the research blocks. Yeah, this was already slightly off the top. Can I change the height? It does matter. It does anchor as well though, which is pretty cool. Stay about there. Okay, just gonna change all of these. Okay. So to program these in, let's go refresh splines. We'll get the overlay splines and we'll clear the children. And then for each arrow, get children. For each of those arrows, we will get the slot as a canvas. Actually, we won't really need to do that. What we'll do is we'll create widget, which will be a spline widget. Primer demo spline. You can't. Can you programmatically even add? Okay, I tell you what. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to add the splines, which means we're just going to come back here and grab these splines. We're going to pop those into the overlay, and then instead of constructing them or clearing them, we'll go through each of them, and we're just going to set up their anchors. So for each of these, cast to spline. Why? Cast to spline. It's a spline. It's probably this one. Set points. Set spline point anchor. Make. Yeah. So we need to set the spline point anchor for the start and end to one of the arrows. So we'll say get child at. We'll use the index here. Actually, we might promote this to a variable. What's going on in the chat here? Hey, if you program it, could you do dynamic layout for less than 5 unlockables? Yes. Yeah. We definitely actually could. And maybe I should. Although I don't seem to be able to add. I need to go and look at my plugin because I can't. I can construct an object of the class spline light. I can do this, but then how do I get it to appear in the overlay? Maybe it's just the case of just going add child and then just plugging that in. Let's find out if that actually works. Clear. If this works, then yeah, I'm going to do it pragmatically, and then we can say, you know, the data for an unlock research tree is different. All right, clear this and loop through the children, get all children for each. Construct a primer spline. The outer is the self, I imagine. And then add it as a child. And then on the event graph, we'll just call refresh splines. And I'm going to just delete all the splines that I have right now. Compile. We do get some splines. They did work. And so let's go with that. Because what we can do is we can then also say, let's clear this horizontal box. In fact, if we were to only have 2 items, yeah, then we can do this. We can construct the arrows as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. Let's go here and do construct items. Just get an event for that on pre-construct. Jump in here. Let's go grab our horizontal box construct items. Let's clear that. Clear children. And for now, because I don't have the data, I don't really know the data, I'm just going to for loop to a number. Num items. When you actually have the item array, then you would just use the array. But for now, we'll go with this. So we'll do that. For each number, let's make sure there is a number. Let's just go, we'll start off with 5, because that was the default. Then we'll create a widget, which will be an unlock item, research item. Cool. It has some exposed variables. That's okay. Entry state preview. I don't really know. Unlock button image size. That doesn't really matter. We might need to delete it. It's an unlockable item, sure. And we'll add that to our horizontal box items. I add a child to horizontal box. There was a default padding between them, so let's go check what that was. It was 8 to the left and right. Set padding here. Split 8 to the left. Oops. 8 to the left, 8 to the right. Compile that. Go and look in our designer. We've got 5 items in there. We've got 4 items. We've got 3 items. Okay. So that's working fine. So we get our construct. Then we'll construct our... In fact, let's fix this. Canvas panel arrows. Collapse the function. Construct arrows. Let's do the arrows first. And then we'll do the splines from the main item to the arrows. So in the arrows, we'll get the canvas panel. We'll clear children. We'll then we'll get all the children of the horizontal box for unlockable items. We'll loop through that. We'll create a widget. Oops. Actually, we'll construct an object of the class image. We'll add that. We'll set the texture, so that's cool. And we'll add it as a child to the canvas panel, right? Add child to canvas. We'll set the alignment to 0.5.5. And then we've got the child of the horizontal box item, so we need to promote that to a local variable. So L item widget. Use that as the outer. Actually, we should use self as the outer. Okay. So we've added that. Then we go set position on the canvas. Should really just set the image as soon as it gets made. No reason not to. Sorted. Okay. We will need to set the size though. The size was 32 by 32. Hopefully that works without hiccups. So we have these 5 images here. It needs to be set to auto size. Set auto size to true. Now they appear in the right shape. Then we just need to get where they sit on this line. For the research entry, we need to actually expose on spawn the variable for top text. Research item, let's pop that in there. Expose on spawn. Research block. Construct items. Text top no. Designer. Cool. Right. Back to construct arrows. The position is the L item widget. Where are you? L item widget. Get cached geometry. This might not work because it's too soon. So get cached geometry. Local to absolute. Local coordinate that we care about, and we've got to figure this out. It's this coordinate here. This is where we want to put the arrow. We take this absolute coordinate. We take this local coordinate from this widget, which we don't know what it is right now. And we print it out to absolute space, and then we shrink it back into the local of this canvas panel, and we put it there. That should be it. But so yeah, you get absolute to local, and you use the geometry of the cache geometry of the canvas panel. Where is it? Canvas panel. That's how you do that. The absolute coordinate is this coordinate. Okay, so the local coordinate, this is the fun one. I'm going to say it's like 0.32, and the y is just 0. Let's just go with that for now. We'd always promote this to a variable and be like arrow anchor, and that way I can fiddle with it in the viewport in a moment. So we'll do that. Let's go designer. Didn't do anything because the cache geometry is probably nothing. Because the cache geometry is probably nothing. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. Set position. Yeah. Doesn't have cache geometry, my guy. It's not cached because it's still pre-constructing. Let's have a look on Google here. Come on, Gemini. I want to construct widgets on a canvas panel and set their position to another element's geometry. I'm using get cached geometry, local to absolute, and then absolute to local. Local to absolute on the geo of the target widget, and then absolute to local on the canvas to convert from widget anchor 0.5 naught, which say 0.5 naught, to the canvas to get the position to place the image. But it's not working on pre-construct. Probably because the cache geometry isn't cached yet. Does the arrow need to be a separate thing? Can you make it part? Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, why am I trying to be just being extra? You're right. You're absolutely right. Why am I doing it this way? Go away, arrows. You don't need to be here anymore. And so the way I could do this is we could take the text block here. We have a top and bottom one that we're hiding and showing, and if I just wrap this with a vertical and then pop the image in here, just make it centered, then actually, is that the way I want to do it? No, let's do it the other way. So we'll stick it in this canvas panel, and we'll stick two of them, and we'll just call it image arrow top and image arrow bottom, and then we'll just stick it where it needs to be. So you need to be here, I think. Yeah, you're the top arrow. Oh god, it really doesn't like me doing that. There we go. Take this 180 degrees. Translation. The geometry thing's still a problem because it's how I was gonna do the anchoring for the splines. Must be 0. Why is that not centered? Oh. No. What? No, I just messed that up. Damn it. Here, that's where I want it to be. Look at that. Is this image not... that image not centered? Or does it have... Oh, look at that. Yeah, it had a transform. Okay. Oh, I could just say 1. Right? Let's do that. Okay. Right, so it goes there. And then this one is here. 0. Just say this is 0. Right. And then in our text unlock state, where is the visibility? Right, top and bottom here. So we just get those 2 images. Where are they, top and bottom? Did I not make them variables? Image top, it's not a variable. Okay. Good call, Draco. Good call. Me trying to be like, I'm a smart man. Text unlock state bottom. Oh, there's going to be more to this than, because not every single one has. This one doesn't have arrows, right? Only these ones do. So if it's an unlocked item. Oh, balls. How do we know? How do we know? Because I'm presuming, yeah, these are unlockable, but when you click them, I'm guessing it becomes an unlocked item. But then does it have a target, right? So let's make a function. Let's make a function to manage this. Stick it at the end here. Set viz. Show arrow. Okay. Select. Do that after. Okay, so if we're allowed to show the arrow, if we're not, then it's just collapsed. If we are allowed to show the arrow, then we're just going to say, as long as you're not an unlocked item. Actually, no, even if you are an unlocked item, you can still be shown. Because it would still be an unlocked item. So it's only if it's the base item. Right? Show the arrow. Show the arrow is just false on this one, basically. I just tick it off on that one and everything else is true. Sure. Okay, everything else is true. If you're allowed to show the arrow, are you top or bottom, basically? If text is top, then the bottom one is visible and the top one is collapsed, and then we just flip. If you're allowed to show the arrow, then if the text is top, it's collapsed. Otherwise, well, we'll go hit test invisible here. Hit test invisible. What I want to do with this is because, so typically the way that I do UI visuals is I'll have essentially an update appearance function. So we do have update item entry state. So anytime this state changes, all of this logic must run because it determines the look of it. This does not change when state changes, so this doesn't necessarily matter. So I can put this in a different function. Init appearance, basically. So these aren't based on state, these are based on position, sort of like construction based position. So that goes on pre-construct down here. Entry state preview. Not sure why that would matter. We always want to init the appearance in the editor and in the viewport, I think. There might be a case that I don't know. Okay, so we've got the init appearance function. We've got this update based on state. This state does change. So these are valid in here because these are all based on state. So whenever state changes, you want to call this. These, on the other hand, are based on initialization again, showing the arrow text top. So again, this is part of initializing the appearance, because this isn't going to change at runtime. This is just going to change here. And then we just need one more. What do we need? We need one more function on here. I think set arrow image. Or set arrow, we call this set arrow texture. Which just takes those two textures. Where are they? Image arrow top, image arrow bottom. Set texture. A soft texture. Both of these guys. This goes plugs in here. That's all good. Right, and the other thing that we can do, just promote this to a variable. Put this soft texture arrow. Put that in there. Make this exposed on spawn. Let's just close all the tabs down. Go to the event graph. Init the appearance. Set the arrow texture. Soft arrow texture here. The way I like to write blueprints. So we have a setter, and then we have collapse the function update arrow. Whoops, update arrow, or on arrow texture change usually, but we'll just go update arrow texture. Update arrow texture. So this happens whenever you set the variable, and it also happens anytime you init the appearance of the widget, depending on what the arrow was selected as. So here we can just go research arrow. Let's use the green one. I like the green one. So here we have text top, text bottom, don't show the arrow. Cool. Ready. By default, I'm going to turn that show off. There. So that's like the default look. In the research block here, we actually have an arrow pointing into this, which is funny because why? Because why not? Here, show arrow no. We can get rid of canvas panel arrows from here. I'm not going to need that. Event pre-construct, originally it was going into the canvas panel arrows and it was doing this. What we want to do is go through the horizontal box items. In this case, this is the non-constructed version. This is the version from yesterday's stream. So now we're going to grab this. We're going to cast this to an entry, research entry, and we're going to call that set texture or set arrow texture here. Just do this. We're just going to simultaneously set it and save it. So now if this entire tree wants to have a particular arrow, just change it in there. So that's cool. And as for our new version that we're making, which is pre-constructed, yeah, we don't need this entire construct arrows function. That can just go away. Good call, good call. Construct items here should now have an arrow texture, which we can just take here. So we can go and tell the basic research item that's always going to be here that we don't want to, that we don't want to show the arrow, that we are a text top. For these ones down here, in construction, we do want to show the arrow. Boom. So now they have arrows. Sorted. Now let's go and finish constructing our lines. We actually had a function for constructing the lines. Clear the children of the overlay splines, get all the children of the canvas panel arrows, which we no longer have because we don't need it. Canvas panel arrows can go away. Get all the children of the horizontal box. Construct a spline widget. We're going to promote this. We're going to cast this to an entry. Research entry. In fact, what I should do is just create a function. Get research entries. Do this. Convert this to a local variable, L research entries. Have that be an array. and add to it. Add, yeah, sure, add unique, why not? I mean, we don't need to add unique, it has overhead. We know they're going to be unique. Just do that. It's a local variable, so we don't need to clear it on begin. And then we just need to return it. Whoa. So we just return that. Just need to give this a better name. So research entry widgets. Get research entry widgets. Fresh splines. Get the research entry widgets. We don't want this to be a pure function because it will actually run the pure function during the each loop. We want this to be a real function. Then we're going to promote this to a local variable. Promote to local variable L research entry. Should be a research entry, yeah. Then we're going to construct this. We're going to add it to the overlay splines. And then we're just going to start calling functions on it, which in this case is set spline anchor. Because I was smart and set this up. Firstly, it's just been constructed, so it only has 2 points, and that might be a good thing. The first point is our unlocked item here. Why do I have 3? Don't want those. One sec, sorry, I've got to fix the construction script because something's... Right, we've got these 3 items that we don't actually want to be in there by default. Boom. Right, refresh splines, it's got this here, it's not happy. Make... Right, this guy is the first target, and then the second target is our local entry. Okay, so that's the settings there. This will be spline entry 1. This needs to come from here. Okay, now. The anchor position for first one is 1 and the other one is 0. We'll just go 0.5 for now. I'm pretty sure it's like 0.32. Like well, 0.3. We'll go 0.33. Why not? It's like 1/3 of the thing. Okay, so now we have 3 gorgeous splines. Absolutely gorgeous. Auto distance vector is, I think it's 1 and -1. I might be wrong though. Nope, I'm right. So now we've got 3 of these. Yeah, the actual anchor for the X is offset from the middle. In the original design, it's like it comes from 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will need to account for that in a moment. So we'll go and do that after. But first I want to style this widget. So let's go do a few other things. Move this over here. We're actually going to end up calling a lot of functions on this spline, so we should probably L spline, just promote it to a local variable because we're gonna end up doing a lot with the spline. L spline. It's gonna go in here. Let's set all the materials before we do that. Set material. I can't set the material. So alas, we have found the limitation. Can I make a blueprint version of that spline and set the variables by default? Spline widget, primer spline widget, BP underscore WRE research spline widget. It's going to set the appearance in here. Okay. So jumping back to our block here, we can just take the variables from here. So it was anchor update interval 0.33. Yeah, fair enough. That needs to be somewhere else. That needs to be in the anchor properties. Thickness 8. Thickness was 8. Material, let's copy that. Paste that in there. Oh yeah, I added end caps. So we want this to have 2 end caps. That's going to look cool. So end caps right now, well, before there were, where are these arrows coming from? Oh yeah, the arrows are part of the thing now, so I can't show you. Funny. So yeah, got this. I actually added this last night. It looks better when it's just a straight line, but anyway, got little end caps. Don't know if they're worth keeping. Okay, so that's that. We don't need the wireframe, but the wireframe is there if you ever wanted to look at the wireframe. Which is why I want to add smoothness, because you can see how this ends up being really not smooth when there's not that many verts in here. Okay, so let's have a look. Layout slot, you don't really have one. Anyway, this is the only way to set the material right now, because set material is not a function. Oh no, I hit play. Okay, so now we have a WRE spline widget. The research, cool. So that sets the material. Should be good. File. Go, starting to look like something real. Overlay splines just needs to be behind a couple of things. Needs to be behind there. And then its anchor point really wants to be a little bit higher and a little bit lower. Let's try 1.1 on there. Why is that not working? It's going the wrong way. No? Oh, it's anchor. Yeah, I've changed this anchor, haven't I? Yeah, so we've lifted those lines off now. Go a little bit higher. That's cool, and then we need to, oh, it's still above that guy. Right, move it back one again. Okay, now we just need to get the 3 split, 5 split, whatever. So, but we're at this point now where we can actually have 5 entries, and we end up with these 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can have as many as we want. We just need to configure the position of the start of the line so that it's not touching each other. Let's go into the graph here. This is the start position. So we'll split this. We'll promote this index. Promote to local variable L spline index. And then we will grab that. Grab the length of the children, which in this case is number of items. We already know that. Okay. Then we just need a variable for distance between spline starts, I guess. Do a float, and we'll say it's 10 pixels. And then we just need to do the math. So, oh, actually, it's It's percentage anchoring from the left and right. It's not pixels. Anchor width per spline. Sure. Width. Spline anchor spacing. Okay, and by default, we'll just start with like, actually, is this even going to work? It's not going to work. It needs to be even. It just needs to be even. If there's two of them, yeah, we can't do that. It's basically something divided by the number of items. It's just 1 divided by the number of items. That gives you per instance, right? So if there's 2 items and you get 1 divided by 2, you get 0.5. That's not good enough. So we might need to go +1. Not spline index, num items. We might need to go +1 on here. I wish I had a drawing app. I have this. Let's go a new file here. Get a little brush. If you've got a box, whoops, if you've got a box, this isn't going to work very well with a brush this thick, right? Have a box. If you have one line, you want it to be, in this case, this is 0.33. How are we doing it? Yeah. Basically, our image is split like this. I could make this easier for myself, possibly. Let's just try this real quick. We're going to anchor at 0.5, but we're not going to go from the unlocked item. We're going to go from a child of the unlocked item. What's the best child that we can use? Do we actually have anything that represents this inner region? We have this canvas panel. But no, we don't actually have... I figure this is going to be an icon at some point. I'm still unhappy with this entire thing as a button. You're going to get your mouse to like here and then be like, oh, I'm already clicking on the button. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's what they wanted all along. Hey, Devon. I like how you lay out your blueprints. That's where U5 always loses me. Yeah, I just press Q a lot. I press Q a lot. Yeah, like this bit of code is old, dead now. So Q is king, and then double clicking on lines to keep them nice and neat, right? Like here, Q, just line those boys up. You got some blueprints like this, you're like just coding away, and it's time to organize them. Just like drag, 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 drag Q, drag, drag Q. Cool. I should get a little keyboard thing in the bottom left to show that. Sometimes I'll lay it out like this if it's a little bit. If this is really long, I'll sometimes just do this. It's a little bit cleaner. All right, so I'm still a little bit have reservations about this. If this item here was itself the size of the button, then when you hover it, it would hover, and also the artwork wouldn't be this big thing. The cool thing about this artwork being this large is that you can have embellishments coming off of it, but you could still hug to like here and it'll still be a bit better. But at that point, I think you're just splitting hairs. So all we need is something that's in the middle here that actually represents the size of the interior, right? I'm going to make an assumption that there's going to be an image in here. It needs to be above the button, I guess. It's going to be this interior area. I'm probably really wrong. This is definitely not how it's meant to be. But that is going to represent our inner space, hopefully. And I'm just going to make it have no opacity and no hit testability for now. And that's going to be our image icon, let's say. Now, in here, when we're doing this anchor, I can get the image icon and use that instead as the target thing to anchor from. And then that will be just 0.5. Click. So yeah, no difference here, but this is now 0.5, which means now I've got a little bit nicer math. So now I can just, whoops. Now I have an item in the middle of my view. That's terrible. And they call me a designer. They call it a mine. Okay, that'll do. So we got, turn myself into 0.5 here. If there's one item divided by n plus 1, we get 0.5. Because we have, in that case, 1 divided by 2 equals 0.5. If we do the same math, we do 1 divided by n plus 1. N is now 2 items. So it's actually 1 divided by 3. We get 0.33, which means we get a line at 30%. We basically cut it into thirds, right? How does that look? Oh, it'll be 0.33, 0.66, and 0.99 basically. So we'll end up with 1 here, here, and here coming out, which is also wrong. So in that case, if we just say it's 1 divided by 1, in this case we're just 1 divided by n. We're just going to get what in this case. Cut down. We're going to get 1 by 1 equals 1, and then if we divide that by 2, we get 0.5. Now if we have 1 divided by n is just, there's just 2 items, and what we want is we want the first item at 0.33 and the second item at 0.66, I think. Is that right? 5.4, 1, 2.5 here, 7.5 here, about 3, 7.5 here, about 6. So you have 2 lines coming out, which looks reasonable. But anyway, you would end up with 0.5, which you would then divide by 2, which would give you 0.25. And then you say, from the center point, from 0.5, to figure out the math to distribute these nicely, you'd end up with 1 at 0.25 coming out and 1 at 0.75 coming out. That wouldn't look too bad. Okay, so what's the next? What's the next version? There's 3 lines. We've got 0.33. Hello, welcome. Malakasat, welcome to the stream. We do UI UX here. We're currently trying to figure out the math logic behind organizing this these lines here. Let me actually just take a screenshot. It might actually make my ideation phase a little bit better and also look better on stream. Look at that, shiny. Yeah, we're building a tech tree right now, little research tree for a game called Winterreach Emporium, and a small indie game from the developers The Large Lads, available on Steam. Go check out the Steam page. I haven't actually linked it in the video, sorry. I'm that guy. I've released Steam games before. I should really put it in the description. Okay. So here what we have is we have one element. Can I have my mouse? Here, here, here. B. Red. A little bit bigger. Right. We have 0.5. And then we basically have like 0.4, 0.2, 0.6, 0.85-ish. That is just not distributed very evenly. It's like almost a logarithmic sort of like resolver coming out. And what we're trying to do is just get something at least nice. At least nice. So we have five entries. We were to have divided this in this way, so and we just pretend it was a little bit more even. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've divided it by n plus 1, and then we've added them. First one, n plus 1 divided 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, no. 15, 30, 45. No, it's like, it's divided by 6, right? Calc. 1 divided by 6. 0.16. So 0.16, 0.3-ish. And yeah, 0.16 multiplied by, will be 1, 2, 3 in this case. 0.48, it's almost at 1, at 0.5, sorry. Wow, I just cube rooted those, awesome. Yeah, so 0.45, 0.48. I don't think you'd notice. And then you'd get 0.48 plus 0.16. Oh, what? Why is it doing such weird things to me? 0.48 plus 0.48 add. Why is it going to 0e? Oh, am I doing... Okay, we're starting again. We're starting that calculator again. 0.48 plus, there we go, 0.1664, yeah, so around there, and then plus 0.16, around 0.8. Okay, so let's just try it. Let's just try it. So it's 1 divided by n plus 1, like we said, outputting as a float, although single precision is probably fine. And then it's that multiplied by the current spline index plus 1. And then that goes into anchor position. Click. Nailed it. That didn't work at all. Float. Float. Integer. Float single precision, actually. To float. To float. 1 divided by this multiplied by the spline index. Spline index is actually something, right? 0, it'll be 1, then it'll be 2, then it'll be... Okay. Try again. Hey, there we go. Look at that. So now we have it. And then if we increase the number, it really doesn't like it when I add 10. But that's just because the spline points end up sitting off the canvas. You're probably not going to have that many. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this looks pretty cool. The only thing I think that I'll get feedback on is that these lines don't come down and then to the left. So we're missing like a little bit of the control. And so one of the things we can do is we can increase these tangents. And then it becomes a Cthulhu monster. So that didn't help. And then if you decrease the tangents, it ends up being kind of meh. Like it just ends up being straight, right? So now you just end up with these like straight lines. So yeah. I think what I need to do for that is go back to my plugin code, which is something that I do just on my own time at the weekends. And so I would go away and I would say, there is a case where I basically want nice wires between things, and that it would prioritize like the horizontal plane for like most of the line, and then just have these nice flicks. In order to get that result in the original, to get this result here, I actually had to add spline points into the view. And we can go and look at that in the research block here. I basically added these points, and so I could go in and I could find out kind of what did I do. If I zero out these tangents, does it still? What did you do that before? It didn't like me doing that. No tangents? Doesn't like no tangents. Can I just give it 1? And then it's broke. So can I give... What if I give the tangent some oomph? Leave tangent? Oh, I'm editing the wrong one for stats. Okay. So that doesn't work. If I can figure out the math for these tangents, then I can do something a little bit better with it. Leave tangent, so that's not working. In this case, the arrived tangent is 30. Let's go to the second one, check out the arrived tangent here. Let's just say 30. Position though. Position is the big one here. 0. 300? Why? Am I editing the left-hand one right now? No, I'm editing the right-hand one. It shouldn't be 350 on the X. That doesn't make sense. Oh, it's on a large canvas. So it's in comparison to this, yeah. So 350. And if this was 320, that would be minus 30 again. So that's pretty cool. And it's 30 on the leave. So if we say minus 30, that's a fair enough piece of code. I could code that. And then on the enter tangent, it's just whatever the enter position is, which in this case is like 89 plus 30. And then this would be minus 30, right? Minus 31, 1, 1. No, not going to do it for me this time. Huh. 89 plus 30. Why is that not working? It's not doing anything. Oh, I guess it's a leave. Maybe it is a leave tangent in this case. So this will just be 30. Or a minus 30. There we go. That might be good enough. And then if I use the same logic again on the tangent here, it's going to be 225 plus 30 1, 1, minus 31. Yeah, look at those clean lines. It's not so great on the second one, to be honest. Minus 15 instead. Oh, sorry. 225 minus, no, plus 15. Plus 15. What? 225 plus 15. There we go. And then if this was still minus 30, it would look weird. So, yeah. Minus 15. So let's go try that on the first one again. So this case, it's 89 plus, or sorry. Yeah, 89 plus 15, right? No. 89 plus 15. Minus 15. Nah, that's nasty. So the math changes, I think, depending on which one we're running, or how many, or how far. Would have been nice if it was just 225 plus 30 minus 30. That would have been cool. Maybe it's good enough. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Or maybe it just needs to exponentially get halved as it gets closer to the center, but that's more math than I can be bothered to do. Okay. So basically the concept is, as long as spline index is not equal to 1 and not equal to the number minus 1. So where's num items here? Minus 1. Cool. As long as spline index is not equal to basically the length of splines, then we can add some extra points in. So spline point anchor, that's fine. Oh, spline here. Let's take this. That spline points. Get points. Insert a point at 0. At 1. In fact, what we could do is we could just get a reference to 0 and then set members. We want to set, well, firstly we want to set the anchors to nothing because we don't want to be anchored. So we'll do that. And secondly, we want to set the position, the arrive and the leave. So we'll do all of that. This was 1, 1. Okay, let's then break this. Break this. What was the math? I forget. Just need to look at the points. 2, 3, 4. There was a method to the madness. This is 337. I think that was not 337. 337 plus 15. Nope. 337 minus 15. 7 minus 30. What was it? I forgot. What is that? It is 15. 337 minus 15. Yeah, cool. Okay. So back in here, we just say minus 15. I guess the problem is we're going to need to know which side we're on as well, because that's going to need to, so that's going to need to be a selector. We'll actually use an add. Select. Okay. Yeah, select. It's going to be 15 or minus 15, depending on if we're on the right or not. So we would go to float. Actually, we could just divide this by 2, I think. How do we know if we're the middle one? The Cthulhu monster looks more like branches, which goes well with the leaf arrows. Yeah, absolutely. Filigree, maybe they will like it. Yeah, you're right. They may. I had a goal for this stream. We're 137 in. I'm going to get into Mathland, and that's not going to be... It's not going to be any good for anyone, I don't think. I'm just going to sit here and just start like opening my mouth like this. Out of game. So I might stop here. I know the process. The process is insert some array elements into this. Use some math to control that. I'm not going to go and do that right now. I'm going to leave it like this. It's disgusting. It's disgusting and I hate it. Maybe I could just go 1.5 on the out. Oh, that looked great for like 2 seconds and then it stopped looking great. Why did that look awesome for like 1 second? Why is it doing that? Oh, yeah. Oh. Let's look at it at 1 times scale. Okay, that's not too bad. We're just going to leave it there. Okay, so we have a bunch of these. Now I just need to programmatically do it in the opposite direction, because otherwise that's kind of shitty. That we can't do it in the other direction. I think the best thing to do at this point is, honestly, it's like, rather than using a canvas panel for all of this, is that this entire thing is just based off this item. And if I flip a switch, it's like top or bottom, and then how would you do that? We don't have common UI enabled, so I can't do attachments, and attachments basically mean don't change the render region. But there's always been a way to do that, which is to size box a canvas, and then you can just put things on that canvas, but the origin of it is always the center item. Let's try it. We have pretty much everything we need here, so we're going to bring this right down like this. I'm just going to hide a couple of things. Let's hide the splines. Okay, so we have this research item. This research item is center. Alignment 0.325, 0.5. And that's our canvas. We compile that. And that is always the size of the canvas. 90 by 90. 85 by 85. 80. Okay. So that little canvas, that little green line, that is what we're going to be placing into the research tree, basically on the center panel. And then we're just going to flip a switch and it's just going to draw things above and below. They'll still be hit testable, ideally. We'll see. We'll see about that part. They'll be hit testable. It'll be fine. From there we have this item. And this is just simply, has this changed the size of the canvas? No, it hasn't. Awesome. This can be above or below. Do 0.5 for the size here. And then we can just say, if it's below, zoom out a little bit. 100? 100 good? Yeah, 100's good. Okay. So all we do is we set horizontal box, slot as canvas, set position. Whoops, set position. Nice. Don't think the X has Oh, the X has a -20 on it. Is that legit? Maybe like 22? 21? Sure, we'll go 21. Which means this is 21 for fun. Okay. And then we select off here. We just do a new thing. Top aligned. Let's make that a variable. Top align num items just for fun there. Arrow anchor. I ended up not needing that. Alright, cool. So if it's top aligned, my assumption is it's -100, and then otherwise it's 100. Let's go to the event graph here on the pre-construct and just move this before we do anything else. So init alignment. Graph. Init alignment. Okay. Designer. It's not 100. It's more than 100. Okay. Well, we can sort of fiddle here, but it's got to be 200, right? It's got to be basically 200. It's not 200. It's more than 200. Okay. We're going to unhook this and we're going to find out what it actually is. Keep going. It's about here. Oh, right. -150. -200. Nope. -150. Nope. -175. That'll do. And just to double check that I'm not crazy, it is meant to be 100, right? Yeah, cool. Okay, compile that. Top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. Top. I feel like the bottom one is a little bit too far. Maybe I should just make this a variable. It's fine. It's fine. Just leave it. Oh, it makes sense that it's 180 actually, because the item is 80 tall, and when you move it 100, that's good. You want to move it the other way, you got to go 80 first, then another 100. Makes sense. So now we have have I got this boolean the wrong way around? This is not top aligned. -180. Okay, then we just need to use that boolean to flip a bunch of other stuff. So when we construct the items, that's fine. That doesn't need to be changed. When we refresh the splines and we pick where the anchor for the image icon is, I think we just need to select top or bottom here. So if we're top aligned, the anchor is 0. If we're not, it's 1. And same with, split this here. Why is this -0.25? Because we're going from, yeah, okay. -0.25. This will be, I might be completely wrong. I might be totally wrong. We'll see. Yeah, when we do construct the items here, actually, so we do need the top aligned, right? If it's top aligned, the text is on the top. Bam. No, it did the lines wrong. Okay, so 0.25? No? Okay. 1.25. Oh yeah. And the tangents are all inverted as well. So all of the tangents are the wrong way around. What if I just -1 in here? That just work better? Nah, it doesn't like that very much. Okay, 1, 1, tangent select. If it's top aligned, if it's not top aligned, it's -1. It's 1. Tangent vector. Okay. Top align, right? So, wait, what was it? I think it was 1. -1, maybe. About to find out. That looks fine. And that looks fine. We did it. Good idea from the community here. Why don't you just construct them? I was being lazy. And that's why I asked that question. I sat there and I was like, I wonder if the time it would take to construct this would be quicker or slower than just doing it by hand for the use case that we need. I also need to flip this here. Yeah, and so ended up being like, okay, well, if you pre-construct it, you can control the number of items. It's like, I know, it would be great, wouldn't it? But it might take ages. It's what's best for the project. It might take ages. It might have taken 1 hour, 45 minutes to construct that, what is now, configurable widget, but worth it, 100% worth. So in here, what we need to do is set alignment. And that's just going to set text top, which we're going to totally change to. We're going to leave that. We're going to leave that's a good name for this one because it's the only thing that determines which side it is. Text top, and then this is affected by text top. This is all affected by text. So we'll just re-init the appearance again after that gets changed. And then in our research block, which is no longer inverted, is just it's just a really cool block, which we're just gonna asset actions replace references of the old block with the shiny new block. Just grab that, consolidate, delete the other one. Cool. Open this, save. I can't name it this because Git literally has that as the name. So research set. Call it a set. Cool. And then in here, we just need to call that new function that we made. Set top. Oh, that not save. Ah, right. I called it something else. Set alignment. Event graph here. Init alignment. Do this. Get alignment. I think if it's top aligned, then we don't want the main entry item to be top aligned. We want it to be opposite. There we go. Okay, so that's that done. Thank you for the claps. Thank you for the claps. Thank you for the vote of confidence. Why don't you do it properly, man? Okay. I think in here we still have, like a test image basically. Let's get rid of that. Don't commit your test images, they'll know how you do it. Then we've got the actual w_research tree. Oh god. Yeah, so that's not good. Huh. Why isn't that working? Huh. Curious. Why is it clipping? We're going to start with clipping. And we're going to go straight down to clipping here. And we're going to say, don't oh, that's the wrong one. No, that's the wrong one. No, that's the wrong one. No, no, no. Okay. In these two and this one, we'll just set these to don't intersect. Oh no. Why is that rendering perfectly fine and then this one isn't? Have this along the middle. It doesn't know what size to make it. Ah, it's no good, man. Oh well. Maybe if I just don't lock the width. There we go. We're halfway there. What if we just don't lock the height? Yeah. Fair. I don't know what I was expecting. Where is this? This thing's anchor is in the middle. These... Oh. Ooh. Middle anchor. -125, right? Whoa. Okay. Let's go minus 135 and positive 135. Okay. That's a little bit cleaner. Minus 135 to 135. Boop. Go back to our research tree. Compile. Not happy about that? Are these set to no items? No, they're not. These should be constructing something. This is curious. This is annoying as well, so we're just gonna anchor these to the corners so it's a little bit easier to read. This size box doesn't do anything anymore. Why are you even using it? Why are you still using the size box as your size determining factor? So confused. Did I do something to the entry to force it? Oh, I did. Okay, that makes sense. Everything outside the end, yeah. Okay. Everything outside the entry is irrelevant for the size of the canvas, I believe. Yeah. This item is ostensibly this green box big. This green box big. This green box big. But because this is off the canvas, I would have expected this whole thing to change size. Like, it's respecting it on the width, but not on the height. Bet you it respects it if I go bottom aligned. No? Okay. I might need to literally set a size box. Wait a second, in the reference, did they overlap? This is where I'm gonna be like, God damn it. Oh, they do as well. They overlap gracefully. That's lovely, isn't it? That's just beautiful. Yeah. That's going to be real easy to configure. All we need to do is wrap this with the size box. The size box width is some number that is going to determine how much overlap it can have to another item, which is going to be, what is it going to be? It's 80. 340 minus 80 divided by 2. No, let's do this differently. Let's go to here. It's 350 divided by 3. 117 plus 117. And then how much over? Yeah, the overlap thing is going to be a pain as well. Because when we have an under and an over, it's like, okay, what's the logic here for how much it can overlap? If there's 3, well, basically, yeah, you can see the rule here. This item needs to be as wide. Maybe you only lock the top one. You could set the width of the top ones, right, to be the full width. And you could set the width of these ones to only be themselves. And so then you'd end up with like, oh, this one takes up the full space and this one just takes up a block. And then this one comes into the graph and takes up this much space. So it's like a really cheap way of saying this element cannot be underneath this element because it will be touching this line. It must always be one to the side. And then you're just padding it by this little value here. So smart little hack, and I think that will be the last thing we do today for the last hour of the stream. Another hour. What time is it? Yeah, okay. It's not quite dinner time yet. But this scroll box is still not behaving. I will say. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what if we flip this? Boom. Cool. Okay, so now we just need to control the width, like we said. Oh. What just happened there? It just works. It just works. Don't ask me why. It just works. 3, 5, 10. Right, yeah, no, it does. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, this is why we need those constructed handles that maintain the horizontal. And that needs to be part of the plugin because it's very frequent that you're going to be like, I basically need rounded handles. So I'll just make a function like auto rounded handle and it'll be like, oh yeah, here's a couple of controls for you. I might do that. Might do that this weekend. Okay, so coming back into here, all we need to do for the set on initializing the we'll call this init appearance. Well, please don't crash. Okay. Initialize appearance, that should be the first thing that happens. It comes in, it grabs that size box. It's a variable. Set width override. Select if you are top aligned, then you are num items multiplied by 117. And if you're the bottom, you're nothing. Just need to double check that logic. 117 multiplied by 5. Oh, it's just a little bit short. 118 multiplied by 5. 120 multiplied by 5. 130 multiplied by 5. There is a little bit of an offset, isn't there? Good thing is the top ones are never going to be touching, so 117 multiplied by 5 is probably fine. Probably fine. Let's go with that. Just promote this to a variable. Spacing per item. Sure. I don't really want it to be a variable, but it's a variable now. And obviously the bottom one should not be setting a size, so I told it not to. So I guess all I do is I say, oh no, you're 80. If you're not top aligned, you're just 80. Come on. Are you top aligned? No. So why is your width that big? Ah, indeed. Why is that doing that though? This one's top aligned. Oop, oop. It takes up that much space. This one's also taking up that much space. This one's also taking up that much space. I put the size box in absolutely on purpose to handle the concept that a set can only take up a certain amount of size when, like, this should be like 80, right? Did I not call the... Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been 2 hours. I've been streaming for 2 hours, talking non-stop. And this is what you get. This is what you get. Okay, so that's not working. Now they're like... I mean, these two are basically touching minus the spacing of one of these. So maybe we can just set... I guess we would say this actually 117. Now they're not touching. But the bottom one is pretty wild. It does need to be some padding. Because, yeah. Basically the same thing but half, maybe. Finger. You ever played a same thing but half of it? Ever played Elden Ring? You'll know where my ailing mind is going. Why is that not divided by... You don't like being divided? Why do I keep doing that? Here. Why is that not worked? To float. Nope. To float. Divided by 2. Cool, cool. Compile. 10. 80. 170. It is technically divided by 2, I suppose. But that's just no good. I guess it just needs to be what it is minus 117. Now there's that little bit of overlap, which is nice. But there, yeah, because it's basically 1 in. Yeah. 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 Right? 8. 8 of them. Look at that nice little cheeky bit of overlap in there. That's kind of cool. Right, guys? Right? Right, guys? Okay, so we came in to do... Okay. What does KKK mean? Hello, fellow kids. Number of items, 8. That's a good number. Oh, and you're like, okay, cool. Where are you from? Brazil? Are you Brazil? For me, KKK is like yep. Yep. Ah, yes. Have you seen that YouTube thing? Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah. Oh, that's me. Okay, so next I need to get it. I need to get it grey. It needs to be grey. Okay, let's go 4 entries wide. This might be a bad idea here. Don't think this is actually working. Yeah, I can't even see the last item because the width only hits. Oh my god. Research, come on. One more go at this. Right. This goes here. This, if it's top aligned, it's either aligned, it needs to be the full thing. Wait, it's not even moving. Oh, I'm going crazy. I did do 4 items on this one, right? 5 items, 6 items, 7 items. Yeah, okay, so it's just too small. Let's do 125, 130. Okay. And there we go. It's gonna have to. Sorry, lads. It can't not overlap that much. Sadly. It can't not overlap that much. Sadly, I don't know. It's either this or this minus this. Please just give me a little bit of overlap. Oh god, it broke. It does break if it doesn't have the full reference frame of like where to be, I've noticed. Because it's not like cached or anything, so. Alrighty. Yeah, look at that, it's like totally borked. Don't do 10 item unlocks, I suppose. Stick with something cute, like 3 and 5 or 6. 6 will allow 6. 4 is a good number. Okay, so now we're scrolling between these. That's cool. Okay, let's get the grade, the locked basically. Locked. Okay. So for locked, again in the end appearance, we may as well do it here. Actually, we need to do a few things. Let's go through the graph. So we have an appearance. We do some positioning, some alignment, and some widthing. That's all fine. Then we go back to the graph. We've got construct items. We will select here, basically, just for now, because this is obviously going to come from data at some point, but for now, if it's locked, we're going to be locked. And if we're not locked, we're going to be unlockable. Like we've never been unlocked before. Okay, so because we don't have any save data, right? And then we've got the refresh splines. So the idea would be, I would select a style, or, oh, that's not going to work. Select, gosh, select using this a type, and it will be WPE, no, WRE, sorry, WRE, research spline widget, and then we'll just make another one because we can't set the style right now, which is a shame, but what we can do is we can set the material, so we can just create another one that is the locked instance, and we'll just make that one gray. I forget what gray, but it's a gray. Free entry tree set. If it is locked, it's this Winterreach spline 2. So we'll call this what it is, underscore locked. Cool. And then that's not going to plug in, so we just cast it to a spline widget. Do that. Cool. In the future, we won't need to do this because I'm going to expose set material, but I can get the material. I just can't set the material right now. I have a version that's not called spline light, that's called spline full, and it does so much more. It does fills, it does animations, it does, you can animate it in the sequencer, you can do a whole bunch of stuff with it. It's a really cool plugin, but for the light version, it's just like the spline tool in the editor. Oh, you can runtime edit the full one. That's pretty cool. Right, so the arrows on the research entry, when we set the arrow texture, we need to select based off of whether we are locked. Go. I like how your BP's low. Oh, that was ages ago. I just accidentally scrolled up the chat and was like, oh, cool. If this is locked, then we're going to be a certain type of arrow. We're going to be this arrow. And otherwise, we're going to be this new shiny one. Pretty lame way of actually. Let's do this, and we'll plug this in here instead. That makes more sense. Okay. So before, what was about to happen was I was about to make the setter not set the variable and actually change, like malform the data coming in and then just set the texture. Which means if you ever become unlocked and you want to show the texture that you're supposed to be, it wouldn't know what it is unless you called it again, which would be bad. So now we save the soft texture arrow that we actually want, have a locked item, pick between the two. Should be pretty good. You kind of want to always have like a set state, and then that will set the entry state here. And then you would call, well, in this case, you would need to init the appearance, and then you would need to, which would do a couple of things. and you would need to update the entry state to the new research state. So it's like basically just always have a getter, always have a setter. What is this? Get the button, set the size. Just set the size. Get the border. Set the size. I don't know what this does. There's these three. Get the button. Set the style of the button. In order to tint it. To tint it. Oh, I see. Maybe. I don't think this needs to happen. I don't think that any of that needs to happen. I don't think it changes the color. I think the only thing it's trying to change is the style. Yeah, here. Normal image size. Why would you unlock button image size? Yeah, I don't think we need this anymore. I'm going to I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to move it. And I'm just not going to do that. Because I think I have a suspicion that there's a better way to do whatever that was intending to do. I wouldn't do that without asking someone, but it's something that we'll get to at the weekend. I basically think that was doing sizing changes to this, which we're locking this size now. There is a button. It is a big button. It shouldn't have any padding. I see what it was doing now. I think it's because the art is off. We're basically like just minorly tweaking. Like so if I switch between the three states right now. No, it's fine. It's fine. We just need to change the size. We don't want this padding. That's the main one. Boop. Sweet. And then this could be resized to where the icon needs to live. I think that's fine, hopefully. We can have the three states still, unlocked, locked. Very cool. I need to stop. It's just, hey guys. Close down all this stuff. Actually, we need to keep this open because we need to see how this behaves. Let's edit the research set, make sure that we can edit the locked state, go back to the research tree, set it to be locked. The main one doesn't change state. The ones down here, the buttons, the arrows aren't working. But otherwise it's pretty close. Let's go here and in init appearance, we'll need to grab, where's the main one? Here we go. Set state. Oh, no, not that one. Set state. Set state. Research entry state. Well, it's either locked or unlocked. This is basically the two states. Select. I guess it can technically be unlockable. At the moment we only have this, so. I changed my mind. It's a research entry state, that's a little bit better. Let's get rid of this. No. Find references to this. Research entry state. If it's not equal, I'm sorry, if it is equal to locked, then it's locked. Let's go find all of these references. I think I kind of messed up before. Oh, and we can just plug this in here now. Wasn't that wonderful? No, wait. Wait. If it's locked, then all of the children are locked. If it's unlockable or unlocked, they are going to be unlockable for now because I don't know what state they're in because it's not saved. So that's what we're going to do there for the preview. Okay, this should be, whoops, this should be fine. Should be fine, right? It would be fine if I exposed this variable. It's, okay, it's unlockable by default. Let's make the set, let's make the default unlocked. Let's just test, we'll just make this one locked and we'll make this next one also locked. Rock on. Okay, back to the reference. It's looking okay. This is a really nice, soft, white, like paperly style. Our buttons here are not lit correctly. This isn't even unlocked properly. Or, oh, I guess it's just not using the correct thing. So let's make sure that we don't commit this until it looks correct. So I want to work on one thing. We have this item border. We have a red frame, a green frame, a white. Yeah, these are really cool. But we don't have a way to set them. So the way I would do this is it would come from some kind of set-based data asset. Can I set that up? I can set that up. I can force people to use things the way I would use them. The set's going to come in. The set is going to be like, it's this item, it's that item, it's the other item. It has an interesting frame that can be toggled on or off. What is the frame? What are the arrows type? And what are the items within the set? Let's go make a set here. Data. Blueprint class. Data asset. Primary data asset. BP underscore research set underscore data. Save that. Right click. Miscellaneous data asset. Research data set. Cool. We'll just call this DA underscore set 1. I don't know what they're going to be called. Set 2. Set 3. Cool. Inside here now we define all of our variables. So we jump back over here and we say, here we've got like 10 minutes, but we got this. So again, yeah, you could do a few things here. You could be like, this is a name. Did you make the reference as well? Did you make the reference? Sorry, I don't know what do you mean? I'm gonna go text here. It's the name, it's the description. This is the frame texture. It's going to be soft text. Sorry, it's going to be a texture 2D. What do you mean by did you make the reference? I might have moved along too fast. Frame texture, arrow texture, and then like items. And I don't know what these are going to be yet. So we're just going to use object array items. Temp OJ, right? So this is going to help later. Probably a different type of data asset, to be fair. Okay, so in here we have a data asset, which, I mean, you know, this could be boots. Best boots. Doesn't really matter. Frame. Let's go frame. Let's go this one. Arrow. Research arrow. Got the yellow one. Here. Boots. Helmets. Best helms. Frame. Go with the third one, I guess. Research arrow. What you use as a sketch? Did I design it? No, I did not. So if you haven't been here from the beginning, jump back to the previous part 1 video. Take a look at the first like 5 minutes of that video while I'm muted, and then come back and you'll know what we're doing. But in short, we're helping an indie team called Winterreach. They have all the designs created by like a Fiverr artist, and then they've got all of their coders. They've got 4 coders. There's 4 guys. Well, not 4 coders, but there's coders in that team. And they were just looking for a UMG person on Reddit, and they asked me to come. Well, they didn't ask. They asked openly, and I said, "Hey, I'm here for that. I'm the kind of guy that loves to do that." So, boots, helms. We'll just go skis. This is a game that's like a fantasy ski shop. So you got like orcs, goblins, elves, trolls, I guess. But what else? We have fae. We should have fae in there. We should have mushroom people. I say we, like I'm part of the team. Should have mushroom people though, because mushroom people are awesome. Skis. Super skis. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Frame texture. Yeah, so one more frame. Just go with this one. Research arrow. This is like the end of the stream, so we're just going to wrap this up here. Boom, boom, boom. Right. In the research set now, we can say set data. It's not set data, that's a really bad name. Research set data. Not set data, because that's going to be a function. Research set. BP research set here is an object reference. I'm just going to stick that right at the top. Compile it. We're going to set it by default as set1. And then we're going to pull that out. From here, we'll get the arrow. And we'll go and find references here to this arrow. So we're just going to replace that like that. That's cool. And then you could also plug in what type of item this research item is from here. So you could just get like get main item. In fact, I will go add main item and then sub items. Main item temp obj. Very cool. Okay, so that's a research set. Some sort of data. Just stubbing it in. Cool. Okay. Do we have another one of these? No. Cool. So we can get rid of that. And then next up, the frame, right? So from here, we'll also get the frame. Get the frame texture. Let's go into our research entry. Let's make a new variable. Let's go frame texture. Texture 2D. Soft reference. It's exposed, that's fine. I don't think all of these are going to have unique frames. I think they're all going to generally use whatever this was, this one. Soft texture arrow, sure. Just call this arrow. Texture. Frame texture, just plug that in there. Okay. Set texture from soft texture here. Go into init appearance. Let's get the frame texture. We'll call this collapse to function. Update frame texture. Okay, so that goes here. This designer, I think this button is darkening. Yeah, you see that? It's actually darkening this whole thing. And I think the reason is so that when you hover, it actually has a hover state, and that's fine. Oh, okay. So we have an update frame texture function. The reason we want that is because we're going to have a set frame texture. It's going to go on here. We're going to be able to set this variable. Although this might come from actual data in the future, right? Like you might have an item data of some kind that you would then power this with. So instead of setting the frame texture, you would just set the data, and when the data changes, you have on data updated. That's how I would do that. Update frame texture here. That's going to happen whenever you set the frame texture. It's also going to happen on init appearance. Then we're going to, from the research set here, arrow got the frame. Wait for these. It's out of the way. Okay, we are going to grab this guy and set frame texture. We actually don't change this here. Nope, we do change that. We don't change the frame. Not for this guy. Not right now. Do change it for the main item. Okay, so now in the research tree, we have this enormous arrow item because I've hooked something up incorrectly. Uh, yeah, that's fun. Set, arrow, yep, frame, yep, yep, yep. I've done it wrong somewhere. Update frame texture, get the frame texture, set it on the item border. Yep. Update arrow. Arrow top and bottom comes from arrow. Yep. In the appearance. Update arrow. Yeah, we just looked at that one. Update frame. Border frame. Yeah, that's fine. Why is this wrong? Find references by name. Yeah, the point is I wrote it just now and it looks fine. Okay. So now these can all have different styles. The locked one isn't working, so we need to look into that. Then when we don't lock it, it doesn't turn into the... Oh, yeah. It's the unlocked variant for this one. This one unlocked. Interesting. Oh, right. I didn't set the set, right? So set 3, it's got like a new frame. That's pretty neat. We just want... Yeah. So now we've got research sets that can take different frames. What have we got here? We've got research sets that have splines that are a custom plugin to do splines. They're pre-constructed. You can change the number of items in our research set. They've got set-based appearance for the whole thing, set up at least, and we need to do some more work on it. They can be locked or unlocked or unlockable, I guess. They can be top or bottom aligned. Pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. Yeah, yeah, pretty good. And that will do it. for today, I'm going to go play video games with the boy. Actually, I'm going to go outside. It's quite nice out. I still need to fix the coloring on here. I think the reason for this is I think I can just one more, just one more, just one more, just one more. Update the entry state. It's the button. It's the button color. I know what it is now. I've seen enough of the code. This button has a tint. It's not that much of a tint though. Where's my reference gone again? This is the nice shiny reference. This is the locked variant. We actually need to apply this texture directly, I think. We apply that. It's still not the right color, but at least it's not dark, which is what the original is. So that may very well be what that bunch of code was doing. We're going to get this. We're going to get the style. We're going to set members in the style. We're going to expose. Oh, it's not fun. I wish this was common UI. I would just change the style. Okay. So then you've got to get, I mean, they are disabled. So maybe we only need to set the disabled state. Okay, the quicker and easier way to do this, the slightly quicker and easier way to do this is this is the frame, which I'm going to change to item frame. And it's currently nested inside a button. Doesn't work when it's locked. Unlocked, unlocked, locked. Locked has a weird state, right? So what you do, what does this other border here do? This is just the back border, yeah. So this is the item BG or base. Yeah, BG works. Wrap this button, wrap with a widget switcher. Actually, could I just, yeah, if I hide that, it doesn't work anymore. Cool. Okay, wrap this with a widget switcher. We'll just get a spacer in there. Widget switcher locked. Can't be right. Is this border being hidden? Is this border ever being visible? Its brush color is nothing. Show me what you are. You are literally the border I want. You're not going to do anything because you're a border. Why do you exist? Find references. You don't have references because you're not a variable. You are getting deleted. Boop. And now there's no button. Is the button invisible? This doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's because I hit the thing. Okay. Okay. I've got this. I've got this. Item. Locked. Locked. Research slot locked background. Research slot locked background. Game UI assets research. Game UI assets research. Why is there two of them? Why is there two of them? I did just see two of them. Slot locked. This comes from Game UI assets research. This one comes from Game UI assets research. This one's called research slot locked background. This one's called research slot locked background. They don't look the same. Oh, it's coming up slot locked because the word unlocked is also with it. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Now can I change the size? Center. Oh, there. 158 by 150. There we go. Look at that gorgeous frame. Okay. And then all we do is we change that widget switcher because that's not working. So widget switcher locked, set index, set active index if the state is equal to locked. Then it's 1. If it's not, then it's the other one. Easy. Okay. Amazing how much of the code and the appearance logic is based in Blueprint when you're not using MVVM. It's actually impressively a lot of code. Okay, so that's the locked state. And then if we say we are unlocked, we're this one. And one thing that I think I've noticed is because this isn't centered. Oh, that's the frame. Ah, okay, full size, please. Thank you. This can literally just be 512 by 512. This button image, though, it's not right. It's not the actual image. I'm just going to leave it at 120 by 120, but the image is wrong. As far as I can tell. This is meant to be the backing. You can't see, I suppose you can't see that. Okay, it's right. It's right. It's fine. Don't panic. Research tree. It looks grey. Finally. I will still say this is kind of a little yellow. And so it might be something that I did yesterday. I just reset this. Yeah, look at that. It's got color in it now. I go here and set this to locked. Go here and then unset that. Can you see how it all suddenly gets colorful? Boop. So I added a retainer box yesterday, which I'm now going to remove. Replace with chart. The only thing that we need to do is make sure that this element here becomes a gray version of itself. Which I don't think we have a gray version of it. There's a shame. In which case, we're just going to color pick from here. Ugh. Ugh. Ah, game design. Smooth yellow. Yeah, a little smooth yellow. It was nice to watch. Yeah, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Um, Tomorrow, hopefully. So this is like the I can't go any further. I got one line to add between these items. I'm not probably not going to do that on a stream. We've got these cool frames in. We can't do 3 frames at a time like this one is showing, but that's an art concern. We can change the art. I've done these buttons at the bottom. They don't do anything, and I'm not too sure what these are about, so I haven't done anything with those. But we can move on to something else, like this reputation screen. We can have a play with doing something a little. Everything is complex. Everything is complex when you want to do it in a way that's like maintainable and scalable. So we'll do it as simply as we can, but we might do this reputation screen. It'd be pretty cool. Got these different types of stars. Got like these unhovered stars. Got some progression in there. Pretty cool. Probably do that tomorrow evening. We also do have the main HUD. I actually can't remember. There are already actually some priorities that I can just directly reference. The next thing they want is the build menu, placeable shelves and decorations. And if I look through, we've got the ledger, the calendar, the random events. The calendar is really nice. I really want to work on the calendar. I think I can do a really nice interactive job with this where you hover these and they do just a little bit of a nice glow. One thing that I actually need to do is get this research bench shown in game so I can actually interact with it, because at the moment it's not even in the game. I haven't seen it myself. It's like a nice bone yellow. Yeah, close enough. Right, we're going to get rid of this image reference now. Boop, boop. Okay, this is our actual research tree. And then we just need to draw lines between each of these entries. So let's... Oh, the lock state's not working still. Let's get rid of this. Event graph, init appearance, arrows, fresh splines. We've got these ones. Where's the image? The arrow in particular. It's on the research item. When we construct the items, the arrow texture comes from the research set data. The research set data definitely has arrows, definitely has arrows, definitely has arrows. So that's all good. Then when the research item gets event graph init, we update the arrow texture. If we are a locked item, we will be this arrow locked. At the top and bottom arrow. Cool. Where's the imagery set here? Set visibility, arrow top, show arrow. Research sets. Should you show the arrow? Should always show the arrow. So why is it not showing the arrow? Only shows the arrow. So bizarre. Is this arrow inside an element that gets hidden? I highly suspect not. Though when it's locked, both of them are hidden, so something is going on there. Text unlock state bottom, text unlock state top. Show arrow. Is this being edited? Find references by name. Get. No, it's not being edited. It's just a getter. What is going on? Can't see the arrow. It worked there. Something's trolling me now. Find references for image arrow. Bottom, I guess. By name. Initialize the appearance. It's visible. Of course, the bottom one is not. Does it work if it's top aligned? It doesn't work if it's top aligned. I hate the way these lines lay out sometimes, but I'll fix that. I'll fix that in my plugin. All right. Wow, we actually did go for the whole extra hour just to make it grey. Okay. Why are the arrows not showing? Why is that happening to me? I'm literally showing them here. Visible. Step through all the code. Update the entry state. Item frame, retainer box to saturation, sure. Is the retainer box causing it? Set retaining? Don't retain. I found it. I found it. It's retained to the render and it's never invalidating again after it's retained to that render. And so that happens in a flow in which we update the entry state here and then retain the render. We could just invalidate. Invalidate layout and volatility. See if that fixes it. Does not. Set locked state? No. It's just a pre-construction logic. Retain the render. No. No. Oh. Would you look at that? When it retains, it can only retain. Ah. I see. That is quite the problem, actually. It can only retain. There's no words. I don't know how I didn't see that before. It can only retain things that are in its panel, obviously. Makes total sense. Shut. Scheiße. There's some padding in here. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We're just not going to do the retainer. Going to have to do that another way. Place it with the child. We've got to change this border crowns here. You get hidden anyway, usually. Let's go fix a few things I was testing. So that can go in there. It still stays in there. To do that, compile. Get moved. Now we have everything back. We need to hide that horizontal box for stars. then so what I did there is I just copied the images, renamed them to underscore locked, and then set the desaturation on the image. And now in the entry, I can go and pick those as the desaturated versions as long as we are locked. So if we're locked is true, happy days. Look, it's together here. It's at the end of the tree. This is the things that happen when we change to locked. Let's look at the designer quickly. Right, they are really desaturated, too much. And it's the coin is not, and neither is the text. God. There is more. There is more. Okay, okay. Yeah, annoying. I can't stick a freaking render square around these two. Maybe I can. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. The other option is to go back to those two textures that I just made. Continue with sort of the plan, but just don't desaturate them so much. Just resaturate them slightly. Whoa. Leave them sort of here. Saturation. So, designer. Just constantly looking to my other screen to check out visuals. That seems fine. It's this one. A little bit meh. The fact that these are such different colors. Sure. That is pretty close. What I'm gonna do real quick is not that. Those, okay. Wrap this with a vertical box. Boom. Vertical box can be sized to content. Crowns at the top. It's at the bottom. Ah, oh, now the vertical box needs to define the size. Sure. And this is way too big. Two on there. Two on there. Okay. Now I have a vertical box. Oh god, go away. Now I have a vertical box for I'm going to call it info, and then I'm going to wrap that with the retainer box. Wrap that with the retainer, please. Here. Stick the material in there that I made so many hours ago. This to saturate shader. Boom. Should it retain the render? No. Retainer box info. Retainer box info set retain. Set render retaining. If you are locked, you are retaining. Visual A, Visual B, Visual C. That I'm okay with. Okay. Research tree. Interleave style for the lines, still working very good. I will fix the Cthulhu lines at some point. Let's go to 5. And then I just need to mess with this a little bit. Tree here. Color match it basically by eye. It's okay. It is done. I cannot give up on a task when it's like halfway through. But yeah, now when we look at the reference, it's like it's identical, apart from they were testing out different look devs for the arrows up here, so this actually isn't how it would look. The only thing that's not identical is the color of this backdrop, because they wanted it to be hoverable, right? So that is not a thing. W underscore HUD of some kind. Resource HUD. Time HUD. I'm just going to go and find the main game HUD so I can try it out. Here we go, main widget. Slide out the build catalog. Yeah, we're not doing that. Slide in the button tray. Okay. Click on the old research button. Whenever you click on the old research button, we're going to create a widget. The widget is going to be a research tree. We're going to promote a variable research tree ref. And then we're going to add it to the viewport. Easy. We're going to add it at, whoops, we're going to add it at 11. I don't know. I might bring over a data table style approach to Z order for this as well. Basically what you do is you put the class of the widget in a struct with the Z order, and then whenever you draw a widget to the screen, you use the class that you're inputting into the create widget node into basically a pure lookup table, and you just say, what Z order should I be? And then you plug that into your Z order and you're done. And you can just do that across your game, and it's a nice simple way of doing it. Create a widget research tree here. Yeah, create research tree, sure. Create the pause menu. Pause menu should probably be higher than the research tree. See, I don't even. That's why I like the data table approach, because it allows you to see them all, like see all the widgets. In fact, in UI, let's just make a little core folder here. UI core. Miscellaneous, sorry, no, blueprint. Struct here. F widget Z order, or I suppose you call it S, right? Struct, sure. Miscellaneous data table widget Z order DT underscore widget Z order. And then in here, you define structure widget, and it'll be a user widget. So we'll type in user as this one here. And then you take the class, because it's for the menus. So you know what this is, widget class. And then you do the integer for the Z order. Save that. Now in here, when we save this and we're going to add a new item, we can come over to our main widget and we can say, the pause menu. So we take that, we put it in, we say, that's 10. So we know that's 10 because it's written here. So then we just call this pause menu. So now we're just transferring that over. Then we make a blueprint function library, bpfl underscore UI. Get Z order. Pure. Input is a widget class. Well, sorry. Input is a user widget. Class reference. Widget class. Get data table rows names from DTZ order. For each of these, get data table row. Same Z order. Widget class here. Get widget class. Break this. If this widget that we're referencing is child of parent class, which means it or a child of it, then we want to return this Z order here. And if we never find anything, we complete the entire loop and we didn't find anything, then we just return 0. In this case, I mean, you could put the fallback here. Get Z order fallback 500 or something. I mean, why not? Let's just put fallback here. Fallback Z order. Sure. If you don't like that, you could just get rid of that input and just define the fallback Z order in here. I don't know. That's nice. It works for me. This function, I want it to be pure. Actually, no, I don't. No, the Z order. Yeah, the only thing that comes out of it is Z order. So pure is good. Pure is good. Back in our main menu widget now, we just go get Z order. We put in the pause menu. Just plug that in here. And that's that one. Then we can come down here, do the same thing, but this time we're going to say, what's the Z order for the research tree here? I said the research tree. There. I'm going to get rid of that fallback. That fallback's annoying. It makes the node too big. It bothers me. Okay, so now we just need to put, this into our data table. So just add a new row. So this is the research tree. Just put it in here, research tree, and we just say it's 9. And then what I like to do is organize them by their Z order. So this one's 9, this one's 10. It's really easy and quick to see what's above what. Let's bring this up. Have we got any more create widgets? Let's have a look. Find references to create widget. Main menu probably doesn't matter too much. Add animation sample UI, create a report widget, research set, main map, controller. What widgets are you making? The main widget. Add to viewport. What's the Z order of? Click add. What's the Z order of the main widget? Actually, did it already have a reference? It was 0. It was 0, right? So easy. What's the Z order of the main widget? And then we just add that here. And we just say main widget. Plug that in. And we just say is 0. Now it's really easy to see where that's coming from. What have we got here? A report widget. Where do you get added? We don't know. It doesn't have an order. But now the really easy thing to do is to just say, well, you know what? That report order is probably higher than the main widget. So we'll put it at 1. What I like to do is put them like 10 apart. Report widget here, put them 10 apart. Main menu. I mean, you're in the main menu. But if you're going to do a system, you best do it consistently. Menu widget. And since that's a completely different level, it doesn't matter that these are conflicting because 0 is fine. Get Z order. Menu. Compile. Save. End of day. Report widget. Oh, we already know that one. Get Z order. Click, click. We already know the Z order for the report widget. 1. Yeah. Let's double check everything. Had its Z order applied. 1, 2. Toggle widget. Create a user widget class toggle widget. Z order. Main map. What is main map? Toggle widget. What is main map? It's a level. All of the, okay, that's fine. Where is this held? Content maps, main map, toggle widget. But my friend, you don't know what Z order to be at. Z order. Widget class. It's just going to default back to 0 unless we define it anyway. What a lovely function. Look at it. It's getting mileage. Create a create a research item. A research item. Create a research item. This one's fine. End of day. We fixed that one. Z order. Cool. Movie pipeline. Don't care. Order manager. WBP order debug. I'm not gonna break that one. That one's not gamey. Time HUD. That's an event. Create a widget for the music player. 10. Look. Oh, wait, what? Z order. Pause menu. Boop. Add item to order. That's just a child of a widget, so that one's fine. Add order to process. That's a child. That's fine. Create order. That's a widget child. That's fine. Build widget. That's a child widget. That's fine. Build button. Build tray. Build catalog. Populate. Oh, math logic. Add child. Items populate. Okay, cool. Yeah. That's an entry. It goes into something. Fade to black. Yeah, we'll add that to the list. Fade to black. It shows at 10 right now. Theoretically, it should be at 11 if you wanted to go over your pause menu. They've got it at 10. I'm just throwing it out there that it should probably, if it's going to conflict with the pause menu, it may as well be behind it so that it actually fades to black while you're paused. Because assumedly what you're doing is you're hitting like quit or go to menu, and you want that fade to happen, right? You don't want it to fade behind your menu. So we're going to go with that. Message disclaimer 11. Z order. Message disclaimer. What is this? Message disclaimer. Put that in there. Add disclaimer. Put that in there. That goes at 11. That was already at 11. Maybe that means this is meant to be 12 then. Seems reasonable. Okay, that's all of them. Yeah, and that I don't know why I went on that rabbit hole, but I did. That rabbit hole is now over. Maybe if I press on the research button now, I'll be able to. Oh yeah, can I zoom it? It's not taking input. These are hovering though, so that's cool. Not when you're hovering this though. So it's a really easy way to fix that. Research tree, research entry, retainer box, visibility, visible, hit test invisible, done. Play. Might make a debug to get us past this start point. Higher, higher, close. Open, research table. Can't even interact with this at all right now, which is interesting. Close. Nothing is happening. It's 6 p.m. and that means it's dinner time, which means I'm extremely late. I should have been done an hour ago. Sorry for anyone who's just joining. This is a stream where we're helping out a small indie team of 4 guys build a couple of their UI pieces, help them with the sticky difficult ones. So for example, this research tree was a problem for them. We've helped them out with that. There's a couple of others that they have put at the top of their priority list, so we'll take a look at those as well. We've got time. So it's cool making full UI in a game. So this one's taking the longest because it is the most interactive buildy sort of widget. It's kind of actually just closed it, didn't I? Kind of actually definitely closed it. This one. But that's me for today.